It was a good balance of academic, challenge, structured, but still taking care of the whole child, not purely academic. One other school was just purely academic, and I didn't want that. So Rotherglen was the right balance to push and support if needed, but also take care of the whole child.
I'm Glenn Herbert, and I'm an editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private schools to gain insights into their programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administrators. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
Okay, so I had 7 years altogether at Rotherglen. I have 3 boys. So my oldest one now is going into grade 11. But we started to look into private school when he was in grade 3 in public school in French immersion. And we realized that he was not challenged enough. So part of it was I am French, so I speak French at home, and French immersion is not really made for bilingual kids. So that's nothing to do against the program. It just, he was a bit too advanced in French. So half the day, he was really bored because he already knew all the French. And the other half day in English, he needed to be more challenged too. So he was really not engaged because he was bored. 8-year-old bored at school, it's not a good combination. His teacher were really pushing for us to stay into the public system in grade 4 so he could get the gifted test done, and because they all knew that he was going to pass the gifted test and go into the clustered content class for grade 5 and up. We look into that. It's not something we really wanted to, because I was not convinced that at this age it's good to be just in cluster class with just gifted kid, which sometimes comes with other diagnostics. So we look at our other option, and private school being one of them. So I went in Oakville, look at all the private school around us, meet some the admission coordinator, and we really liked Rotherglen. It was a good balance of academic, challenge, structured, but still taking care of the whole child, not purely academic. One other school was just purely academic, and I didn't want that. So Rotherglen was the right balance to push and support if needed, but also take care of the whole child. So that's what made the first decision. My middle one was going into grade 2 at the time. He was in grade 1. And then he didn't really had a good experience in grade 1 in public school either, because it was the first year when they went from play-based. So it's the first cohort that did the full play-based kindergarten, and then went into grade 1. And the teacher had no idea what to do with this kid that had been playing for 2 years, compared to the other cohort that had like half day or alternate days, but at least with academic learning their letter, doing like sit down at a desk work, when my son had been playing for 2 years. And all of a sudden, you are supposed to be sitting on your desk all day long. It was not a good combination either. So we moved them both, grade 4 and grade 2 were the first year at Rotherglen. And it's been amazing. And my little one, we didn't go any to the public school. So he studied CASA directly. And now he's going to grade 4. So he's my last one in Rotherglen this year, because my middle one graduated in June and is going to grade 9. So my oldest one likes the challenge. So he had an amazing grade 8 years when he was in a class with just high achiever students who helped each other, who pushed each other in the right way, not in a competition bad way, but in a right way. Let's see how far we can go together, how much we can learn together. And the teacher that he had welcomed that. So really put them extra to get them, like, just to see how far you can go. And all the club he was involved with, the Model United Nations, the jazz band, all of that, all the extracurriculum that he did, the play, being involved more as a senior student within the class, as a grade A student, all the leadership opportunity really foster this feel of achievement. So I think that's what he will say he liked the most. Learn how to study and how to work and see how high he can achieve. Because that's what public school was not giving him, like that, to learn how to learn how to study. And now he has amazing organization skill and he wants to reach for the top. But that's Rotherglen gave him that. My middle one, which is an average child, I think he will say it's like all the, and even if last year was not as good, but all the extracurriculum, the play specifically, the international day in younger grade, just the culture of the school, doing something different, not just academic, but just everything else, how you learn everything else. I think that's what he will have say he prefer. And my younger one, his friends, just to be with his friends, just to be learning with others, seeing other than just his two brothers. And he's very excited to be the oldest one now. He's not just a brother of somebody at the school, but he'll be on his own and he'll be his own little person there. To adapt for each child, to give what each child needs. So if somebody needs extra support, they will give the extra support. If somebody needs extra challenge, they will give the extra challenge. To really foster the individual of each children, I think was a very big positive experience of Rotherglen. I think the language program, they are doing French from CASA, but I think the all program, the curriculum could be a bit stronger. Some of the teachers, I know it's difficult to find very good French teacher, but some of the teachers are not fully bilingual. So it's hard when you don't master yourself completely the language to teach it to somebody else. So I think that's one of the not as strong point. We knew that from coming from French immersion, for sure that French was going to go down, but I think it could be a little bit stronger. All the other teachers are amazing. And not to say that the French teachers are not good, just the level of the program could be a little bit stronger. In a right way, how quiet it was. How like it was smooth. We could walk into when I first did my first open house, it was in the middle of the day, every class were inside the classroom, but it was all quiet. You could see students, the CASA in Montessori or even up to grade 3 working on their own in the corridor on big projects, and then going up into the higher grade, having classes and lessons, but it was quiet, smooth. The ambience was very welcoming to learning, but in a positive way. Fostering the whole child. You're not taking care of just of the academics, you're not just learning your ABC, but you are growing as a whole person with all the quality that you can develop at this age. I think the common tie is like to want the best for their kids' education. For sure, it's a privilege. Like not, I'm sure there's a lot of family who want also the best for their kids, but cannot afford the private school. So you cannot just forget about that. But it's really being there for the children, being involved. I think that will be the common sense to want their best, to want the best for their children, whatever it is. Demographically, I'll say there is like very wealthy family that are just will not even look at public school. That's a small top, I would say. The big majority is family that can afford it, but still make sacrifice or decisions to, okay, we're going to do that instead of going on vacation 3 times this year. because they want the best for their children. And there's few families who really, really kind of change their priority to be able to afford it. And you can see in their involvement in terms of their kids' education. But it's typical, want the best, being involved, being concerned, and want a good education for their children. So for my middle one, I think will be when he was chosen as a speech winner, I guess I will. They all do a speech within each class, and then one for each class gets picked to say the speech in front of the whole grade and the parents. So that was when he was in grade 5, and that was a very big achievement for him. And he graduated this year, and he got the pin for the average over 80, and that's something he wanted. My oldest one, I would say, it's to win the overall academic achievement through the whole school. He got the higher grade, and for the exam also that they did. So he won all the academic achievement there is to win, but also he was chosen by his peer to be valedictorian, like part of the last 5, and then the school chose within the 5. So he didn't end up being valedictorian, but for him to have been chosen and having the most vote from all of his peers, he was very proud of that. My little one, it's still early, so he's only going into grade 4. So I don't know, I think he was happy to have, they did all year long last year a nice project on in geography, all the era from the dinosaur, even before the dinosaur and all through the dinosaur, and he worked hard, and it was a long project throughout term 2 and 3. So he was very happy with the project at the end, because I think it was the first time he had something to work for so long that at the end you see the project. It's not something you do quick and then you're happy and you just move to something else. So just keep working on the same project, but it's still early, like he's only. Taking care of the old child as a whole. Very open communications with the administrations and the parents, and giving the help when needed, and provided the help, whatever it is, academically or socially or mentally, that needs to be provided for the children. If you can afford it, do it from casa. Like, because then they learn from early on all the good thing about the communication, the independence, the organization skill. They learn it from the beginning. So yeah, if you are looking into private school, just do it from the get-go. And I will do the whole elementary, get them very well prepared, and not necessarily, and that's not what I'm doing for my 2 oldest, going back to public after. But I think it's getting them the very good base from a private education in elementary that they can succeed in high school. Because at one point, yes, you can continue in private school in high school, but at one point you need to go back to the public world. Private school is still a bubble. It's not real life completely. So if you go private all the way, then after in university, I think can be a very hard awakening, if I can say. So I will say my suggestion will be to do it from the beginning, all elementary, get them the good base, and then they can succeed in high school, in public setting, and in university and college or whatever they want to do.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.